Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Monday, 15th July 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. ECCB pledges $1 million grant to Grenada and St. Vincent the Grenadines each after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Dr. Timothy Antoine, recently sat down to discuss the 2023-2024 annual report, where the bank achieved a historic record profit of $80.2 million. Antoine took time to make a special mention of the bank's commitment to the hurricane-battered nations of the Southern Grenadines and mainland St. Vincent. Gina Felipe of HTS News Force reports.
When Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, Timothy Antoine, sat down to discuss the record profits achieved by the bank, as noted in the annual 2023-2024 report, his demeanor was somber. Foremost on his mind was not the historic $80.2 million in profits earned by the bank, rather, the devastation wrought by Hurricane Beryl on Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Really and truly, our thoughts, our prayers, our efforts are really focused on supporting our member countries recently impacted by Hurricane Beryl. And here I speak of Grenada, and in particular the Sicily of Carriacou, and I speak of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and in particular Union Island. Also significant impact on the mainland of St. Vincent. So, I want to express our sympathy and strong solidarity with St. Vincent and Grenadines and Grenada on account of the death and devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl. Once again, we've been visited with a natural disaster, but we can take assurance in the fact that we are resilient, and with the help of Almighty God, our partners, and our very hard work, we shall rebuild.
Antoine firmly reiterated the ECCB's commitment to supporting the affected islands.
I want to just say to the people of Grenada and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines that the ECCB stands strongly and fully with you, and we, in fact, will support you as we go through this together. We are recognizing, of course, that there are two typical phases after an event like this. One is the immediate relief, the humanitarian side, and then there's the reconstruction. The ECCB is going to send $1 million, a grant of $1 million each to Grenada and St. Vincent the Grenadines to support them in this initial phase of relief.
Acknowledging widespread job losses and the costly rebuilding efforts, the ECCB governor urges banks to collaborate with customers to determine the level of support needed and appropriate times to resume obligations.
There are persons who lost their livelihoods. There are farmers, fishers, other households, businesses that have been wiped out or significantly compromised as a result of the passage of Beryl. And here, these customers will work with their banks and their banks with them to ascertain whether and to what extent the support that is required and and whether and to what extent, they will be able to resume their obligations at an appropriate time. So the banks, of course, will work with customers on a case-by-case basis as they know how to do. And again, the key really is just communication and collaboration in this period. We're going to get through this together. We're resilient, we're strong. It hurts, it pains me. I mean, it's a very difficult time, but we have no choice but to get up and rebuild. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So I just want to start with that word of comfort and support to the people of St. Vincent The Grenadines and Grenada.
Antoine also discussed how the ECCB will continue to work on behalf of the people of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union by helping to create the conducive financial environment for the prosperity of the region.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Haiti's gang leader Barbecue declares war on international peacekeeping forces as Kenyan police patrol the streets of Port-au-Prince. More in this news item.
It's been over a week since the international peacekeeping mission.
The other big development for
It's been over a week since the international peacekeeping mission led by Kenya began operations in Haiti. A 400-strong elite police unit from Kenya has been deployed to curb violence perpetrated by armed gangs in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. Over the weekend, hundreds of officers from the East African nation conducted foot patrols in several neighborhoods which had fallen to gangs. Local Haitians embraced the police presence as they demanded an end to mafia and gang rule. Meanwhile, gang leader Jimmy Chirizier has rejected the deployment of the Kenyan troops. In fact, Chirizier has declared war on the international peacekeeping mission and called the Kenyan police forces the invaders of Haiti.
The Organization of American States, the OAS, has given unanimous support to a resolution spearheaded by Antigua and Barbuda on Hurricane Beryl's impact and implications. The resolution was presented to the OAS Permanent Council by Antigua and Barbuda's permanent representative, Sir Ronald Sanders. ABS's Garfield Burford reports.
Our aim with this resolution is to do good. To do good for those suffering from the impact of Hurricane Beryl. And to demonstrate that this Organization of American States cares about their plight and can be depended on to act in their interest.
Sir Ronald Sanders piloting a resolution at the OAS Permanent Council on Friday on behalf of the 14 independent states of CARICOM. The resolution is entitled Addressing the Impact of Hurricane Beryl and Strengthening Climate Resilience in the Americas. Sir Ronald points to the pernicious impact of the record-breaking hurricane, the earliest ever Category 5 in the Atlantic.
Underscoring that the disastrous effects of climate change pose a threat to all nations, and emphasizing the importance for urgent and full international cooperation to address its causes comprehensively. Aware that previous hurricanes have irreparably damaged many small and medium-sized businesses in OAS member states, leading to increased insurance premiums, rising unemployment, and high poverty levels, and that these conditions will be exacerbated by the impact of Hurricane Beryl on the affected states.
The resolution calls for immediate action regarding the Loss and Damage Fund in response to the impact of climate change.
To call for the immediate capitalization and operationalization of the Loss and Damage Fund, agreed upon at COP27 and COP28, for assisting developing countries that are particularly vulnerable to the adverse effects of climate change, and, once established, to encourage the fund to provide financial assistance to affected OAS member states as appropriate for rebuilding and reconstruction efforts, as well as for building capacity for recovery and resilience to any future disasters.
The resolution also makes a direct appeal to international organizations which provide financing to vulnerable states. It is the latest in a chorus of calls for a reform of the global financial architecture.
To encourage international financial and development institutions to release funds for SIDS affected by disasters on a concessionary basis, free from onerous conditions, and to cancel, defer, or reschedule debt repayments in order to support the affected countries in their recovery and resilience building efforts.
The resolution was adopted by acclamation Friday afternoon. Antigua and Barbuda has been consistently praised for its leadership role on this and several other issues in the hemispheric grouping.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Permanent Council of the Organization of American States, Grenada's Ambassador Tarly Francis, has thanked Antigua and Barbuda for its quick aid response following Hurricane Beryl's onslaught on the southern Caribbean.
Beryl hit land on the Sunday, on the 1st of July, and already on Monday evening, the delegation of Antigua and Barbuda, the distinguished leadership of Sir Ronald, was urging that we address this peril with urgency here.
Trinidad and Tobago's National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines says Trinidad and Tobago is now on a path to be alongside countries like Guyana and Suriname, which are in full compliance with measures to combat human trafficking. Speaking at the official handover of the 2024 Trafficking in Persons report, he noted that this country, Trinidad and Tobago, has been removed from the Tier 2 watch list and upgraded in the ranking due to taking several steps.
We worked very hard and deliberately to come off of the watch list, which carried and portended further downgrade to Tier 3, which would have been disastrous for Trinidad and Tobago. It would have diminished our very proud international record, and we would have been accused of not doing enough, not taking enough steps or the right steps to respond to the business of trafficking in persons.
And resident representative of the United Nations Development Programme, Hugo Blanco, who presented the report to the Ministry of National Security, said the upgrade in the report for Trinidad and Tobago was no easy feat.
This is a big achievement. It's not only about having processes, it's about the training, it's about the legislation, it's about the judiciary, it's about the police, it's about coming together as a nation to really be able to combat, to fight trafficking in persons. And that's another huge achievement that I have witnessed since I arrived a year ago.
St. Kitts and Nevis's Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, who on 10th July visited the Grenadines alongside other OECS heads of government, said it was important for the OECS to cooperate in assisting the people whose lives were upended by the passage of Category 4 Hurricane Beryl. Glenn Bart of SK Newsline has more.
As the current chairman of the OECS, Prime Minister Drew and the other leaders were provided a comprehensive update on the current situation in Carriacou and the other islands devastated by Hurricane Beryl. According to Dr. Drew, the aim is to ensure that all assistance and aid is provided swiftly to all affected people. Speaking with the St. Kitts and Nevis News Media representatives, the Prime Minister emphasized the importance of regional countries building stronger and more resilient communities going forward. And in the context of climate change, he reiterated the call for climate justice. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our to at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.